Welcome everybody, it's Telman. In this video we are going to be talking about the new comic book loading screen we got just today, and it is a very interesting one, and it is completely different from the ones we have seen before. So I'll have it on screen right now, and as you guys can tell, this thing is completely original. It's not a remake or a remaster of any other loading screen before. This thing is completely original, and you guys could probably recognize some of the things that are actually on this image, but I'm going to go through all the different things starting at the bottom right, and the reason why is because it looks like that's what the arrow wants us to do, so that's what we're going to be doing. So right here we see something that everybody could probably recognize by now, and it is when Origins Richtofen kills Richtofen 1.0, which we all know, and there's not really too much to say about it besides there is a clock here having the time. I believe what it says the time is about 12:50. I believe that's what the time says, but I'm not too sure if that holds any significance at all, but I just don't know. But we also see a date right over this, and if this date is over it because it's trying to tell you this is when this happened, then we would actually have a date for the giant when it all took place, and that'd be 1943, which would work perfectly because Theresa took place 3 years after 1946. So it could prevent the events of all Richtofens after that, because he didn't do anything till, well, he did some before, of course, he traveled to Moon and all that good stuff before that, but still, it'll keep it inside a good spot, and it could prevent a lot of what happened inside the original story. So anyways, as you guys can see, we continue to the image to the left, and we see another image that looks a lot like the giant again, but people are saying it's not the giant because there's no Richtofen 1.0. There's just Takeo, Dempsey, and Nikolai standing there, and possibly Richtofen. It looks like Richtofen. I can't imagine it'd be anybody else. It looks like Richtofen's walking out of the teleporter, and I believe it's just another thing of the giant, but I don't know why they would do it. But some people are saying this is not the giant but Kieran's totem, but there's really no evidence for that, so I don't want to stay anywhere near it. It just looks more similar to the giant than anything else. But why they would have two things straight from the giant right next to each other, I have no idea. But one thing before we continue, the next one is that we can see the years 1930 and 1940, and those years don't really relate to any date of the map actually happening that we've played at before, and I don't really recognize these dates for anything special inside the storyline. Of course, if I am forgetting anything, tell me down in the comments, but I just don't recognize these dates for anything really useful to the storyline. It's very confusing because I think they had more relatable dates inside the previous one. They had like 1933, like the year Mob of the Dead happened, so I don't know what they're exactly going for here, but like I said, if I'm making a mistake, go ahead and tell me. But anyways, going on to the next image, the top right, of course, has the arrows would have you follow. We could see this thing just hanging here, and a lot of people didn't really know what it was, but I think it's a pretty good guess that this is actually Shinonuma, and this is where Peter McCain originally hung himself. And the only difference here is that Peter McCain isn't actually here, and he didn't hang himself, so that's all good. But why it could be happening, it could be just because of what the arrow is suggesting, that maybe because the events of Richtofen killing his other self is causing all these events not to happen, which would make a lot of sense, obviously, because Peter McCain wouldn't have to go over there and try to sneak into 935 if Richtofen wasn't there, because that was his goal, to go see what Richtofen and Maxis were doing. But anyways, the next one we see is probably Verrucht because of the fountain in the middle. We do see just more of a normal looking place. Of course, this still probably was an asylum, so maybe it wasn't the normalest place in the world, but you know, it looks better than covered with blood and zombies, so that's a plus. And then for the last one, we have this image of a plane, and a lot of people didn't know what this was. I in fact couldn't recognize it for the life of me at first, but what people are suggesting that this is actually the plane we see inside the little intro to Nazi on Toten from all the way back when zombies originally started. And what it could be suggesting is that this plane actually landed safely instead of crash landing like it did inside the intro to Nazi on Toten. So what this is suggesting, a lot of people are saying, is that because of Richtofen killing his other self, nothing ever bad happened. Nothing to cause the actual storyline that we've always known didn't ever happen because of him killing his other version of himself. And maybe this is the perfect world where everything is just better than it was before, which makes a lot of sense because we see no Peter McCain, we see no Destroy Asylum, and we see the plane landing. But I'd skipped over one. That's what makes it confusing, because we have this last image and it just really doesn't fit with this image at all, because it's just so weird, because they did something exactly like Treyarch would normally do. They go and say, oh look, here's all this stuff, but wait, you still don't understand anything if you're wondering. hearing. We just gave you all this information, but don't worry, you still don't understand, because we're going to throw this one in here just to make sure you know you don't understand what's exactly happening here. But I don't know, it's just something Treyarch would do. I don't know why, but that's what they're doing. So what this could be saying, maybe the giant universe where Richtofen did kill his other self, maybe that universe is perfect. That's a fine universe and everything's perfectly fine over there. But of course, we're still traveling through different universes with our Origins characters, so it's not exactly going to be perfect wherever we're going to be going. So I don't know, tell me what you guys think about this. There's nothing really I could say about it besides maybe this is just suggesting if you kill Richtofen, then you have a perfect world, I guess. But anyways, tell me what you guys think about it down in the comments. But if you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead and thumbs up. If you guys want to stay tuned for content similar to this, go ahead and subscribe. But I'm going to go, and I will catch you guys on my next video.